Okay, uh, experience, salvia experience. I've been trying to share this story, so here's the third time, potentially the fourth time that I already tried to do this tonight. Okay, so here we go. Salvia Devinorum. First time, one of the first times I ever did it. I was in my restroom. I turned the shower on. I got right in front of the mirror. The mirror. I had a bone pipe. It was a deer horn. And I put the salvia inside the deer horn. Smoked it. Right when I inhaled the salvia, I put the pipe down on the floor. And in that process of putting the pipe down, everything started turning black around me. And when I placed the pipe and the lighter on the ground, I was in complete darkness. And the pipe turned into a house. And the lighter turned into a flame. And I was just looking at the house and the flame and just like looking at it. And I looked at my leg and I noticed that there was squares that were forming out of my leg, and then there was little people that were coming out of my leg, out of the squares. It was like a different dimension that they were coming out of. And I was looking at that and I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, that's not normal. And this was all while I was putting the pipe down. Like, I haven't even let the smoke out of my lungs yet while this was happening. So I let the smoke out and I started to rise up from the position that I was in, because I was in a bent down position putting the pipe and the lighter down, and I noticed all of this stuff happening. So when I started to rise, I felt my fingers extending, and I felt my toes elongating, and I felt like if my back was attached to something, and I started to expand, like my fingers, my toes, my back, my head, everything started expanding outwards. And while that was happening, I was rising, and I started seeing these pillars. And like the Roman pillars that started appearing in front of me. And when I rose, when I stood up, while I was rising, I started seeing into all the different dimensions. There's all these different dimensions that are layered on top of each other, like horizontally and diagonally. They're stacked and they're layered. Like I said, horizontally and diagonally, all these different dimensions, and it's making up the dimension we're in right now. And I was seeing it. I was seeing it while I was rising. All the different realities stacked on top of each other, and I was looking sideways and different ways. And yeah, when I arose and I was standing up straight, I was the universe. My whole body was the universe. I became everything, and I detached from everything. I stopped being everything. I became the observer. Like, I became aware that I was everything, and that made me become like a pure observer. So I was like looking at me being everything, and then I was looking at I need to show the actual picture now, because this specific image was an image that I saw while I was traveling. Look at this. I literally saw this while I was tripping. Like, there was, whenever I do salvia, I feel like there's these heads that are right next to me, like just this close, stacked, and literally like this. there's this connection where we're literally all holding hands, like we're all next to each other. Consciousness, it's creating reality, and it's very intertwined. It's very crazy how connected everything is. And yeah, I became the universe. This is what it looked like. I know I've shown it to you before. I became the universe, and in the spiral is making up all of reality. And when I looked into all of reality, I saw myself tripping in the restroom doing salvia. And then I was like, okay, if I'm tripping in the restroom doing fucking salvia, and I'm the universe, and I'm also the person who's looking at all this, who the fuck am I? Like, what is going on right now? Who am I? Because I don't know who I am. So I followed the spiral. I followed the spiral that was making up all of existence, and I went to see where it led to. Like, so I followed it down to the smallest point, and it ended up being. I ended up finding out that the smallest form of energy that makes up matter is directly connected to our consciousness, and that's a thing that I realized when I followed the spiral to the smallest point. It led me to energy that was making up matter, and that matter was creating consciousness, and it's all connected. Like, you can't separate matter from consciousness. It's intimately connected. Okay, so I didn't actually fully realize that until many years later. It was a long time until I actually understood what I was experiencing, the trip. I pondered over it for a while, and I heard stories, and people told me things, and they're like, yo, you were experiencing the thing people have talked about with, like, the fifth dimensional thing, where, like, you could see backward and forward into time, because literally that's what happened when I became the universe. After I realized what I was, I got out of the spiral. I went back into being the universal consciousness, and I started looking around at everything as the universe. And this is what it looks like when I was the universe. It's literally a physical embodiment. And I was looking at the. Let me see. Hold on. I was looking at the different dimensions. I'm losing my train of thought. Hold on. After I realized what I was, there is an important part I need to mention. Hold on, let me think. I started looking at the fabric of reality and my surroundings, and I realized that my actions, all of our actions, are imprinted on and in space and time. Like, everything we do creates a cosmic picture, because we're affecting everything. We're connected to everything, and everything. Your whole life is documented. Like I said, every little thing you did, it's like a little slice in time that's there forever, and it's visible to those who can see it. Everything you ever done, it's right there in the stars, in the sky, in the universe. And I literally saw every point of my life that ever happened. I saw it in little sheets of paper in the universe. It's all there. and I was looking at everything. I was looking at my own life, like the beginning, the forward, and the back bit of it, and I started looking into different dimensions. I started looking into my own spiral, because this is my reality. Like, there's more realities. It's an infinite amount, and I can't perceive it all, but I could definitely perceive my own reality, and this is what is encompassing my own existence. So, there were some aliens. There was some fucking aliens, and I did draw them when I looked into their spaceship, because they were a part of the spiral that was making up all of my existence. They did not like me looking at them. They noticed really fast. They noticed really quickly that I was looking at them, and they were like, basically right when I looked into their ship, because I was the universe, I was a universal consciousness. I looked into their ship, and they were like, he could see us, press the button. Boom, one of the other aliens pressed the button. My hallucinogenic trip just stopped. I was back in my body. The shower was going. I was all sweaty. I didn't know who I was. I literally didn't know what my name was. I didn't know what was going on. Automatically, my body just started like drying my all the sweat off my body, because I literally thought I just took a bath because I was so sweaty, and my subconscious just kicked in because I didn't even know what was going on. I was trying to remember who I fucking was. I was like, wait, what's going on right now? Like, who am I? Like, that's literally where I was at this point. I didn't know who the fuck I was. And my body was cleaning myself off, and I was looking at my hands clean my body, and I was like, what the fuck is who is doing this? Because I don't know what's going on right now. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm not making my body do this. Like, I didn't feel like I was in control of my own body, because I was thinking things, and I didn't know who I was. I did not know who I was. I did not know why my body was doing what it was doing. I was aware that there was a shower, and that I was wet, and that my body was doing things, but I just didn't feel in control of any of it while I was coming out of the trip. And that was it. That was basically the thing. I ended up getting out of it and pondering the whole thing for years. It took years for me to actually understand what the message that was being told to me was. It's pretty crazy. I had to draw it. I'm still drawing it out. It's gonna be a whole anime. So yep, that's the salvia trip. This is a little bit of the drawings. That's it. That's all I got.